Separation is never easy, but when your partner is a narcissist, the process can become emotionally draining and legally complicated. In this video, I'll help you navigate this challenging journey with clarity, confidence, and calm because you're going to need it. But who's a narcissist anyway? Like people just throw this term around casually, but the narcissistic personality disorder is a real and serious condition. And at its core, really, a narcissist is someone that usually would lack empathy. They have a grandiose sense of self-importance and excessive need for admiration. And these traits, when you're going through a separation or divorce, can make them things extremely difficult. So how do you spot one? Well, as I was saying, the common, traits like they will be manipulative. A lot of clients would complain about constant gaslighting, often a elevated sense of entitlement because I do find that a lot of people feel entitled these days, but the narcissist has an even, bigger sense of entitlement. They'll try to blame shift, shame you, refuse to take any responsibility, and they'll try to exploit you for personal gain. So whether you're going through this in the context of a mediation or family court litigation, that's something that I'll usually be looking out for. I want to make sure that I spot and recognize these red flags so that we can work around work around the personalities and just make sure that the process is not derailed by them in that case. So because of these personality traits that I've described, the narcissists generally, I don't know if I mentioned this earlier, but that's another trait of them. They always want to win. So, and a lot of times when you're going through a separation, especially when there are children involved, there's no winners, right? And even without children, there really are no winners or losers. It's just about how do we justly and equitably, get you to the next step. So, but not the narcissist, no, not them. They will do whatever is necessary to win. All they're driven by is a desire to win rather than to resolve things like fairly and justly. They would often refuse to, make compromises. They will drag out the proceedings. They will try to use emotions as a weapon. And all this does is just, again, delay, and it can drain you of energy, your finances, and honestly, sometimes a lot of people start to feel hopeless. But don't, okay? Here's how you can deal with the narcissist during the mediation process. So make sure that you keep communications factual and non-emotional. And, if you need to get a friend to look over your message, if you want to ask AI, like whatever it is, just try to keep communications very, matter of fact. Set clear boundaries and just stick with them no matter how much the narcissist tries to push your buttons. Just try to, maintain those set boundaries and don't make sure that you just try to ensure that they don't get a reaction out of you. And make sure, as I said, you use a skilled mediator because when they're familiar with these traits, even if you don't share that they're narcissists, and obviously we can't, as mediators, we cannot diagnose these things, or except maybe for those that have the training to, but we can spot those red flags, right? So mediation, again, the goal, resolution, not revenge. The mediator, you have to make sure that you're working with a skilled mediator, and in my case, I make sure that I design the process around ensuring that the process isn't derailed or weaponized by the narcissist to get revenge or just, drag things out or win at all costs, regardless of whether or not it's a fair outcome. And so, unfortunately, if mediation fails when dealing with a narcissist or anyone, as a matter of fact, you may be looking at litigation. And you have to understand when you're dealing with a narcissist, they could often see it as a battlefield. Again, that win-win-win at all costs, and doesn't matter who they manipulate, if they're gaslighting, lying, whatever. So what do you do and how do you kind of work around this? Try to document everything as meticulously as you can. If we're acting as your lawyers, lean in on us as much as possible. Like, you're not in this alone. We get it. Understand, like, sometimes people, you want to keep it brief with your lawyers. You don't want to necessarily run up legal fees, but for things that are legally actionable with them, or, you could just keep a journal so that when you have a conversation with your lawyers, if there are things you want to note quickly that have been happening, that could help give context and, things that could be acted on legally. That's a good idea. But make sure, remember, you have your legal team. You can lean on them and just emotionally prepare for the games that are going to come, the delays, it's almost inevitable. And the litigation context where things already are slow enough as it is, they will try to drag things out. So you can expect things like them not providing disclosure, and even if when it comes to parenting, wanting to follow, orders and things like that. Trust us. If we're acting as your lawyers, trust us, trust the process. There might be a delay. Justice will not be denied. Yes, I'll put it that way. It may be delayed, but it will not be denied. We will get there. We will work around things. So if there's disclosure that needs to be provided, we will do what needs to be done to get that. If there are delays, we would find ways to ensure that you're compensated. But we're not equipped to deal with the emotional side of things for you. So we strongly advise that you lean in on your support network at this time. There's a lot of support groups online on different social media platforms that support people that are going through, a separation or divorce, because you do need that emotional support. I have various podcasts as well where I speak to people that have these organizations and online communities that support people going through a separation or divorce. So I encourage you strongly to lean into that. And also, if you're not, if you are able to afford this, or if you have access to one, I strongly, strongly, strongly encourage you to have a therapist that can kind of be that emotional support person for you through this process. Because when you're working with a narcissist, it gets hard. And so you also need to self-regulate, okay? They will come for you. And so you need to learn to control your feelings and just kind of focus on the facts and not just, how you feel, so you don't play into what they're trying to do. So in short, living a narcissist isn't just about the legal separation, honestly. It's really about you reclaiming your peace. So stay strong, stay grounded, and remember you're not alone, okay? So we hope that you can reach out to us when you need us. Reach out to your therapist if you have one. If you have a group of friends, remember you're going to need all the support you can get when you're trying to leave a narcissist. It's extremely more difficult. But remember, while they may delay, when you're working with the right legal team, you will succeed. You will get that fair, equitable resolution in spite of all of the games. All right, that's it for now. And until next time, it's bye for now.